Hi everyone, this is Parul with Coldwell Banker, and today we have a great man who has been helping me with all my mortgage questions. It's David Caproni. So welcome, David, to the show. Please introduce yourself, and we will discuss about the importance of pre-approval. I had mentioned in my last video how important it is to have a pre-approval before we go shopping for a home. So we need your expertise on this, and if you could explain to my buyers, the first-time buyers especially, the cost of it, the importance of it, and how long the process takes, and we will go from there. Go ahead.
Okay, sure. Thank you very much for the opportunity. My name is David Caparini. I'm a Vice President of Guarantee Rate Affinity Mortgage Lending. I've been in the business for a little. I've been an affiliate lender of Coldwell Banker for the past 20 years. And basically I handle the origination, the processing, the marketing and the training here in Southeast Florida. Pre-approval, it's very important. Whether you've bought 5 homes or 10 homes or it's your first home, pre-approval is the first step of the home buying process. I like to call it 4 to the door, the 4 to the door buying process. The first step, get pre-approved. Second step, find your home. Third step, finish. And fourth step, close on time.
So the third step, we kind of missed over the third step. You're going in and out of for the volume. Can you repeat the 4 steps again, please?
Is get pre-approved. Second step, find a home, find your dream home. Third step, finish up all the paperwork with the title company, the lender, the insurance company, everybody. And then fourth step, close on time, 4 to the door, okay? So, and a lot of people get pre-approval confused, and this is quite common. Basically, a pre-approval is a bona fide pre-approval is where the lender will look at the income, the assets, the debt, and the credit, do a loan application, calculate what we call the debt to make sure that they can afford the monthly housing payment, and so that they know exactly how much money they're going to need for the closing.
Okay, so you are breaking up quite a bit as you're speaking, but we will see if records it well. So my first question, David, is that what does it mean to have pre-qualified versus pre-approval, right? So a lot of clients come to me and said, I'm pre-qualified, but when I go to a seller, they want a pre-approved buyer, not pre-qualified. So can you explain to the first-time buyers what is the difference between those two?
Sure. So I always, to keep it broken down to the simplest form, a pre-qualification is, for example, this. Do you have a person would respond, yes, I have a job. Okay, so you're pre-qualified. You can get a loan, you can get a mortgage. The question is, how much of a mortgage can you qualify for? Is it $100,000? Is it $1 million? Is it $500,000? What is the income? What is the debt? What is the credit? And all that is done in the pre-approval process versus the pre-qualification. Some lenders will, ask, okay, what is your credit score? What is your income? Do you have any debts? You can probably qualify for $200,000 or $500,000 or $800,000, but what we found is not all they are what they pay every month because they set it up and forget it. The most recent example I had was last week. Someone said, I said, I was trying to pre-qualify them over the phone. I said, well, how much debt do you have? And they said, I don't have any debt. I'm like, okay, great, then you'll be fine. And then, well, guess what? When I pulled the loan application, they had debt this long. It was the credit report was so long, and I was going line by line. And I said, oh, is this yours? Is this yours? Is this right? Is this correct? Is this right? And after like 12 items, they're like, oh, yeah, you're right. I do have debt.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is why we do pre-approvals.
Okay. Great explanation. So how does it help as a me being a first-time buyer? How does it help to get it pre-approved? When I'm going shopping for a home, what does it help? How does it help me?
Sure. The realtor or help the buyer or both? Okay, both.
Both.
Okay, so it helps the buyer so that the buyer knows how much their monthly mortgage payment is going to be, how much they need for the closing, whether or not a seller credit is needed, whether or not a lender credit is needed. Maybe they need down payment assistance from a federal agency or state agency. There's a wealth of information that goes into the pre-approval so that the buyer knows all the information that they need to throughout the process, what kind of homes to look for, what kind of homes to stay away from, and really most importantly, how much money that they need for how much mortgage payment that they can afford to have. And then from a realtor perspective, the realtor needs to know the buying power so they know what houses to show them.
Yes.
Because what happens is, oh yeah, I'm pre-qualified for 500,000, and then you go out and show them houses for 500. And I had 2 cases. It happens every week. I get cases where, they say they're qualified for X, and lo and behold, when they actually look at the documents, it's really Y. And so the most recent one I had it was an experienced realtor, but the buyer just didn't want to have their credit pulled. And finally, they showed houses all last weekend. They showed 9 houses last weekend, only to find out, Monday morning when they spoke to a lender, which was me, there was no buying power because they had too much debt. And unfortunately, a whole weekend went by of showing property, and there's no buying power there. So I did, the benefit there is I was able to educate them so that they can get approved in the future. They know now they have to pay down debt. They know now they have to raise their score. They know now they have to save money for down payment or closing costs. So the realtor needs to know. They know, what type of property to show them, how to write the contract, what kind of timelines are needed was it 30-day closing, 20-day commitment, 60-day closing, what the timelines are, whether or not a seller credit needs to be in there, a condo, a rider needs to be in there, etc.
Great points. So for example, if I'm a buyer and I'm worried about my credit score, right? Like a lot of buyers tell me that they don't want to get pre-approved because it shows up on their credit. How does it affect, and how long does the effect stays? So for example, if I am going with you, get a pre-approval, do I need to go to another lender again to get another pre-approval, or one pre-approval is good for all the buying powers, or with all the realtors, with all the sellers? And how long is it good for? If I get it done today, how long is it good for? 30 days, 60 days, 90 days?
Okay, sure. So for us, we're a mortgage lender. Guaranteed Rate Affinity is a mortgage. That's all we do. We specialize in mortgage lending. We're not a bank. So when you go to a bank, you have just their one product, their one loan, whether it's a 30-year fixed or a 15-year fixed. With working with a lender such as me, I work with multiple banks, multiple investors. We have the biggest or broadest opportunity to choose from. So for example, I do one loan application, one credit report, and that loan is good with that borrower until they go to closing. If something services, there's a surprise somewhere and I need to switch them, it's just a toggle switch in the computer for me to switch them. Versus if they're working with ABC Bank, and if they didn't mold into ABC's guidelines, ABC Bank would have to decline the loan, and then they would have to go to another lender and start the process all over again, knowing what their issue is, and trying to find a lender that will give them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if I get a pre-approval today and I can be shopping for next 30 days for a home, or a 40 days, it should not matter. because I have the PreApproval with you. Long as I'm doing my mortgage processing with you, I will be okay.
Yes, and let me just address a couple other questions. So with us, our credit reports are valid for 120 days. So once we issue the PreApproval, it's basically valid for 4 months. Due to COVID, the pandemic, there can be slightly variations of that guideline. And
okay, so another question is, what is the cost? How much is going to cost me to get this approval done? Because a lot of people don't want to add on more costs to whatever else they have. And whenever I ask them, this is like, oh my God, I need to save every penny because I'm buying a home. So that, what is the cost to it?
okay, so with us, there's no cost for the PreApproval. We do the loan application, we run the credit report, but we don't collect any, we don't get paid until the loan closes. Now, obviously, there's some upfront. Once they're under contract with the property, they will pay for the appraisal. If there's a condo involved, they'll pay for the condo questionnaire, sometimes a master insurance certificate if there's a homeowners association. So there can be some upfront costs, but only after their contract or offer is accepted by the seller. We actually have an address that we can spend money on as part of the due diligence to get the loan for final approval.
Wow, awesome. So there's so many things that it takes place. It's just not like getting a PreApproval anymore. It's just, so you have to know the process behind the whole, from just thinking of buying a home to actually living in it. There's so many aspects that people don't see it happening, right? So they overlook a lot of little things. They said, oh, I want to buy a home. And then all of a sudden, okay, I'm going to go shopping with a realtor and hoping that I'll find the best home, not knowing that these are hidden things that plays a role in getting you the right home that you call, right?
Yeah, and listen, everyone has their role, and we all do our baby steps, if you will. The lender, I have my baby steps that as we reach certain milestones, I educate them about the next phase of the process. And then once we reach that milestone and so on, the realtor, you educate them through every milestone. The insurance company will do the same. The inspection company, the title company, everyone has their role and is going to handhold them and walk them through the entire process. Because it's practically impossible to cover every topic, from A to Z at the beginning of the process, because it's just information overload. They're not going to remember. So we just walk them, step by step, day by day, hold their hand until we get them closed.
Thank you so much, David. So how can a buyer reach you? Give them their contact information. How can they get in touch with you?
The first part was cut out. I think you're asking for my contact information.
Yeah, how can a buyer contact you?
They can contact me by phone, by email, by my website. I mean, the quickest and easiest way to initiate the PreApproval process is by going online to my website, which is David Caparini, and then space GRA. I'll be the top and top of the search criteria. GRA is for Guarantee Rate Affinity, but as long as answer all their questions regarding their income, their assets, debt, and credit. I have a file that I can start working on and give them a call, review all the numbers, review all the options, email the PreApproval letter to them and to the realtor. And my system is actually so advanced that the system actually has the technology to generate a PreApproval letter right then and there, providing that they qualify.
Thank you so much. And I will also put the link for David Caproni in my YouTube link so you guys can reach it directly to him. Thank you again for educating me as a realtor and also to my buyers. Thank you, David, for taking time out. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.